On Your SportsCenter update is brought to you by Lead Her Forward, ESPN Wisconsin's celebration of National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Stay tuned to catch the special program hosted by ESPN's Jen Latta and Michelle Smallman all month long on 100.5 ESPN. Last night on the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, the former Wisconsin Badger head coach, said he isn't a fan of where the program currently sits for the Badgers.
I mean, we went a long time. We worked our fannies off to start winning, win championships, and be good, and go to bowl games every year. And damn it, we did it better than everybody for 20-some years after not going for like a million years. Now, these guys have to fight their ass off to get back into that group. I hope that they understand that. They've got a responsibility. I don't like where we are right now. They need to bounce back and put this program back where it belongs.
You can watch back the entire show on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. On to the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Golden State Warriors 125-111 last night. They're off tonight before they are up at Minneapolis tomorrow night at 7 against the Timberwolves.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Bombardment? Yes.
I didn't bombard. Bombardment, Ryan.
Yeah.
And Janet Jackson might have been my first boob.
This guy.
It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, let me ask you a question. Matt, let me ask you a question.
Because I'm here for whatever. If you get food poisoning from a place, do you go back?
Like for more food?
No, if you go back ever. Like like you get a bad burger from a place.
And give him a second chance?
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Alex Gravatt.
I'm back! It is Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light. Alex Gravatt alongside Matt Hamilton. Matt, if the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
Yeah, it is. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. The Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and text line list is more. And man, you just cracked up for the entirety of that show open, which you hear all of the time, Matt.
Well, it was tweaked. It was like Ryan tweaks it pretty regularly. So that's the best part about the show open is it's not always the same. There's a little new clips in there and.
Well, as a producer,
importantness.
It's important to have everything updated. Got to have audio hotkeys. Got to make sure I hold my hosts accountable with what they say.
I totally agree. And why are you just stealing mine? Jim had some woofer.
Woofer?
Yesterday.
What's a woofer?
His subwoofer.
I get that. I mean, like, I would call it a subwoofer.
Also,
everyone does, but
whenever Molly says, I'm savage, I just crack up at it. Like, it's my favorite. So
Savage.
Yeah, I definitely laugh at our own show opening constantly.
I love it. I think originally, at the end of last week, we had added my Oreo take, which if you missed any of that, you can go back, or 2 weeks ago now, I guess, on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify. Did you ever get Oreo cookies at the dry cleaner?
Yeah, I heard this. No.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I was the odd one out there, but apparently I'm the odd one out. But yeah, you also mentioned the Jim Rutledge with the subwoofer. Jim Rutledge, he is out with the sniffles, and he kind of made my morning much harder because of it. So last night he texts Jesse Nelson. He and I are at the Great Dane, wrapping up the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez. You can catch that wherever you get your podcast. It was a great show. Coach really kind of let loose for his last show of the year because now he's going to be on, we'll call it reserve. He's the closer for the rest of the year. He'll be in and out throughout the rest of the season until football comes back. But Jim texts Jesse saying, I'm sick. Jesse looks at me. He's like, all right, you might be on for tomorrow. We're not going to tell you until like midday tomorrow. Thank goodness they text me bright and early in the morning before I even woke up because my alarm didn't go off, which is a weird one for me. I was super late. But then not only was I late to work, I forgot. Jim took my badge yesterday, to get in and out of the building.
What?
He took my badge because he needed to go down to the 3rd floor to get snacks or whatever in the middle of the day. And then he took it home with him. So now I've got my badge at Jim Rutledge's house because he never brings his own badge.
Yeah, I will say, I'm not here, most of the day. I show up around 3 most of the time. And
you live the charmed life.
A very charmed life. Peter Pan, if you will. But yeah, I constantly see texts from Jim in our ESPN group chat. Can someone let me up from the 1st floor?
Which I learned today.
Constantly.
He has the group chat muted himself, so when I ask for the same help...
He'll never see it.
No,
yeah.
not a chance. So 844-770-3776. Jim Rutledge making my morning harder than it had to be. It was already hard to begin with. What are some things that your coworkers do to make your life hard, or you do to make your coworkers' lives hard? Primetime, obviously, inconvenienced. I like that. That's better.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are chasing around, a headless chicken in Matt Hamilton all day. What are some things that maybe he or Jim or myself, when I fill in, do to make your life hard?
I wouldn't say you guys are. That's not a daily inconvenience, though. I don't consider those daily inconveniences. I think daily inconvenience is more like, this one thing, like when I'm walking in the door, it's this one person who's always standing in front of the door. Or is it this one person who's always using the microwave when I'm using it? Or I think of Pablo Iglesias, who's always sitting in my chair when I get into the office. It's like, what the hell, man? What are we doing here?
Pablo sits in your chair?
Well, he sits in the production room.
Oh, okay, got it. That makes more sense.
Which is his office.
Right.
Yeah, it's Ryan's office.
Right, the production closet.
Yes, that's my secret spot for where I take care of all my business.
My lack of response to our show chat, I felt like is a pretty good inconvenience for you.
Yeah, I don't know if I consider that an inconvenience, more of like a major flaw at times. I think that's more than inconvenience. No, inconveniences, like, I'm trying to think of some of my own. I think I avoid people enough throughout the day, and I've really streamlined my process enough where I'm pretty good at getting past it.
I mean, I remember
other than people just like talking to me. That's probably the biggest inconvenience.
2 days ago, as Adam and Madison chimes in, if I see my coworkers, they got worse. So I respect that one. That's
Wait, what?
That's Adam and Madison chimes in. If I see my coworkers, my day instantly gets worse. 844-770-3776, the Carbless Talk and Text line. Let us know how your coworkers impact your life. Adam, you might need a new job, bud. That's tough. I at least get to enjoy seeing my coworkers.
Some people aren't people. Some people aren't people. People
like me.
That's disgusting. As Jim Rutledge has taken the badge that I need to get in and out of the elevators, in and out of the building, in and out of the office, all together, and he took it home and then took a sick day. So that's where we're at. Tough way to start my morning because I also slept I remember vividly setting my alarm last night, but I guess I didn't. It didn't go off when I woke up, and I rolled out of bed. My girlfriend's like, Alex, it's 8:40, and I'm supposed to be here at 8. So got into the office just in time for the sales meeting. That was happening at 9 a.m. That was tough, but thank goodness I live close to the office. Now, you don't have to come in that often. So do you have anything, Matt Hamilton, that feels like we inconvenience you, or is, because we have on multiple occasions just started applauding as you walk into the room?
No, honestly, no. There's no real inconveniences that I've come across at ESPN Madison. But my last job, when I was doing R&D, when I was an R&D technician for a little home appliance company here in town.
What does R&D stand for?
Research and development.
Oh.
So, yeah, a lot of it was buying like competitors' products and seeing how they worked. So oftentimes for kitchen appliances, it's very important to know temperatures of things, whether it's a toaster oven or like a waffle maker or a George Foreman grill or something along those lines. It was very important to make sure you could get like base temperatures across all different parts of the unit. And you would make basically these little cords that would measure that temperature. They were called You didn't just have like a pile of thermocouples. We had wire that could be turned into one.
And so people were doing what with these thermocouples?
Well, what would happen is I would make a bunch of them, and people would take them for their own little projects because, someone on coffee would want to use it for their coffee makers. So then eventually what I started doing is using like an adhesive and just gluing my the thermocouples to the unit so they could not be stolen any longer.
844-770-3776. Joe in the Boonies chimes in. Jim owes me, I assume he's talking about me, maybe it's one of you two, but Jim owes you something or a dinner. Perhaps something from a gas station or a snack. Coffee at minimum. So, yes, I will be cashing that in at some point. Jim Rutledge owes me a snack. I don't drink coffee, so I'll take the snack. And then Adam Madison comes back in with working with Ryan has to be hard because he is, potentially a serial killer. That sounds inconvenient.
Honestly, it makes it easy because him trying to live his two different lives, he's very good here in public.
He needs an alibi.
Yeah.
And if you're good, you're not gonna, you're not gonna poop where you eat.
I mean, we've all seen American Psycho, right?
You watch Dexter, we're smarter than that.
We've all seen American Psycho. Like he is really good at work, right? This isn't his off time, but like Dexter, he definitely craps where he eats.
Well, he takes his work home.
Dude,
I take work home too.
He doesn't. I don't think he's doing it right because he's literally using the police that he works for to find his next guy.
We got an email from you at 9:30, but I think you have to leave around 8 here most days. So that hour and a half, that's the window that it happens. 8:30 p.m. Be careful, Ryan Wollersheim. But you mentioned not pooping where you eat. Way to keep it FCC compliant. Have any of you? Okay, I guess we maybe have experienced some of this as we all work together, but outside of the ESPN Wisconsin office, have you guys seen dating relationships that have worked out? Because sometimes that gets really
workplace
sticky.
dating?
Yes, especially as someone who worked in the service industry, Matt. I imagine you've come across this a time or two.
Yeah, fortunately, I was never a part of it. But there was...
Don't poop where you eat.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's definitely true in the curling world. Honestly, if it's obvious anywhere, there's back at least when I started curling in the late 2010s and early 2010s, curling was wild landscape. But as for like you're saying, like the service industry, I had a head chef that was dating like a waitress, and we definitely felt like he helped get her food out faster. And that was annoying. Because, we're just going in ticket order, and he would just, for example, he would ask where the steak for her particular ticket is. I'm like, it's behind the other one because it came in later. Like, I can't make this steak cook any faster than it's going right now. So that was annoying, and it definitely inconveniences you because there's no reason this person should be doing this.
That's fair.
That was real.
You also worked at a nicer restaurant. I worked at a lot of worked at a chain restaurant for a while. I worked at another one that was a smaller chain restaurant but had much more local vibes. As Adam Madison chimes in again, 844-770-3776. Never dip your pen in the company ink.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. But yes, I saw some of those as, in these places that have higher turnover rates and maybe a little less professional, where servers would date each other. We're all, young people for the most part. We're always having, going out for
same
drinks.
hours.
Working the same hours. And you're going through the same kind of borderline trauma as service industry is hard.
Yeah.
It's tricky at times. And so you see all of this happen, and then people are getting together and suddenly you're not helping each other out because you're angry, things like that. Those were much more inconvenient. The whole reason we're talking about this, of course, Jim Rutledge took my badge home with him because he doesn't have his own, or he can't find his. And then he took a sick day. So I had to wait outside in the cold to get let into the office again. 844-770-3776. Office relationships are obviously a big one for why it's hard to, how you can be inconvenienced by your coworkers. But we've got Tinder time coming up next, so maybe some of that will be resolved as we were swiping through the perennial, options online. But this is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're presented in part by Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Radio Audio Network, presented by Gallagher. Trust your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucks star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the original story of Bucks and Six, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Brandon Jennings and the Bucks fans alike. Behind the Bucks on thebucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
One word captures why so many businesses choose to do business with James Imaging Systems. Local. Local business technology. Local support. Local accountability. Listen to James' client Daniel Bertelson, RE/MAX Preferred CEO.
James Imaging is one of the vendors that we use to move all of our documents and set up networks and utilize their equipment for scanning and storage purposes.
Local support works for James' client Josh Gabel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance.
Yeah, things happen, they can come out and fix it and leave us to what we're needing to do.
Jennifer Wilger, Purchasing Manager with Baker Manufacturing, likes the local accountability from the James Imaging Systems people.
They're an absolutely wonderful partner for us. They go above and beyond.
Local business technology, local support, local accountability. Get it all from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Like the girls watching in the basement had a sound bar with the subwoofer going, listening to Not Like Us.
Cool. Subwoofer.
Subwoofer.
Because it woofs.
Marked.
Woof! That was Jim Rutledge. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Jim Rutledge taking the day off, taking my badge to get into the office with him as he's got the sniffles. I'm Alex Cravat alongside Olympic gold medalist Matt Hamilton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, 844-770-3776. The Carbless ESPN talk and text line. List is more. That's the way into the show. We're going to get into Tinder time here in just 1 second, but you were talking about just the serendipity. Is that the right word about like meeting someone before you've actually met them?
No, it's more like wondering, like you were just talking about how you worked, because we were talking about office relationships or something like that. Like you got to, when you were working at like Outback Steakhouse or
not that
Texas
one.
Roadhouse.
The chain.
I was just like, I wonder if I ever like was served by you. Right. And I wonder the same thing, like any of the people I meet or know that like have been around, just one of those weird shower thoughts. You're like, oh, I wonder if our paths have crossed and I didn't deem it, or we didn't deem it worthy to like recognize or notice the other or even talk to the other, right?
Exactly. Or all those situations where you see like, oh, it's me and my family. We were, when I was a kid, we were at Disney, and in the background is like their wife, and you can just like see it clear as day, and they like had no idea. Those happened a few times. Prime, as you're, finding your next victim, I'm sure you've probably had a lot of those incidental meetings.
Well, no, that's how you find people with incidental meetings. That's the natural way it works. That's how Tinder time works, guys.
Yeah. If you like it, swipe right.
Don't you know?
Yeah. I will say, Ryan, I feel like we joke and we try and help you in the relationship world, and then we start talking about this kind of things, and I feel like it's more detrimental than good.
Well, yeah, but you guys love to talk about it. You guys love to talk about both things, so I entertain both.
I hope it's very much like me and my partner, where like she was not a fan of the station beforehand, and now she listens to every show all the time. But
nice.
But before, because like I think we're putting you in a pretty tough light there. But
yeah, I'm gonna say I am like 98% sure Ryan is not a serial killer.
Well, that's nice of you. That's honestly, Matt, you know what?
Take that for data.
That's one of the nicer things you've said this week.
I'm willing to give it like 97 or 99% because I just don't think. Sorry, I was going to say 98.7, and I was like, I'll just round up 99.
What a number.
I don't think you have the time to be a serial killer, dude.
That's a good point.
We're in a high-intensity industry. You work a lot of hours. However, I don't know what you do in the mornings. I guess you probably go to the gym. I've seen you there once or twice. But
okay, but who's a serial? I won't even say the word on the air. Who's doing that in the mornings? Like at 5 a.m.?
No one's expecting
it. It's like the worst time.
People are out for their morning runs. It feels like
sun's coming up.
Yeah, sun's coming up.
You can't
now.
do it in the daylight.
No. That's during shift change for the police too. Yeah, it's a bad time.
I'm 97% sure Ryan is not a killer.
Tinder time?
Tinder time!
Let's do it. All right, guys, so we wanted to run through a Tinder time today because over at ESPNWisconsin.com, NFL Nation has their way too early power rankings for the 2025 NFL season. So we want to see how the Packers stack up against the other teams ahead of them in these power rankings. So, guys, we're only going to look at the top 10 teams because the Packers in the way too early 2025 power rankings currently stacked up at 7, guys. And also, I'll read it here from ESPN Packers reporter Rob Demovsky. Part of their exercise, they describe the offseason in 3 words for every team. His 3-word description for the Packers: improve from within. Saying the Packers aren't likely to go out and get a number 1 receiver or acquire a star pass rusher, but they're not likely to lose much either. Their only free agents among 2024 starters are center Josh Myers and kicker Brandon McManus. So it'll be up to Coach Matt LaFleur and his staff to get players to make significant jumps during the offseason and into training camp. Just early thoughts on that, guys, before we get into Tinder time.
I hate it. Like, duh. Like, improve from within. I love that. But that is all the Packers ever do. Like,
who made the team good this year? What were the biggest jumps we saw from last year to this year?
Well, here's the thing: is we did not see the significant jump from Jordan Love. We saw the Josh Jacobs acquirement.
Josh Jacobs was great. He was
stud
a
on the offense and the stud on the defense. Xavier McKinney, like, both of them we went out and got.
Exactly.
And like Jim loves to say, there's always money in the banana stand. Like, you can find a way to stay out of cap trouble.
Purgatory.
With working with contracts. So, like, there's ways to do it. You can't always just build from within. That's such a trope that the Packers usually follow. And I don't think you can make a strong enough leap to leapfrog some of these teams that seem to be consistently getting better around us.
Well, considering some of those teams that are consistently getting better on the Green Bay Packers, let's look at the 6 teams ahead of them in the power rankings right now. So, guys, number 1 on this list after the Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Chiefs win.
They still win because they are number 1 in the way too early 2025 power rankings.
The Chiefs are?
The Chiefs are. Now, we're only asking in dinner time, do they belong ahead of or behind the Green Bay Packers?
Okay, they belong ahead of the Green Bay Packers.
All right, so we're swiping right.
Yeah, Patrick
Swiping
Mahomes
right.
has kept him relevant forever. They will be relevant until he shows a significant decline, and I don't see him doing that.
What if Kelsey retires?
I don't care.
Okay.
Like Travis Kelce had 4 targets in the entire Super Bowl. 2 of them were at his knees, drops, whatever. Xavier Worthy looks good. Kareem Hunt is fine. Isaiah Pacheco didn't do anything in the Super Bowl, but also a good player. They're going to find young talent and fill.
What if Andy Reid goes?
If Andy Reid goes, then we have a real conversation. But at that point, I think they just become the Green Bay Packers, where they go to the championship games, the AFC championship game every year, and maybe they win some, maybe they lose some, because Patrick Mahomes is a winner.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Next one, guys, on the list, staying in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills.
Number 2?
Number 2 in the way too early.
Right. Swipe right?
Swipe
for
right.
them to be better than the Packers?
Should definitely be ahead of the Packers right now.
They should be, but like, how are we not putting the reigning Super Bowl champions at least top 2?
This is a mad disrespect on Philly. They
dominated.
They walked the Chiefs.
Oh my gosh.
Well, guys, we got to keep going down here because
the Ravens.
The Philadelphia Eagles aren't even the first team in the NFC on this list. The Detroit Lions are number 3. They did go 15-2 this year.
Yes.
They had a lot of injuries, so I'm assuming there's not going to be as many injuries for the Detroit Lions next year.
I think the Detroit Lions are better than the Packers, especially when they're healthy.
No doubt.
Nick Sirianni, I saw a quote somewhere. I didn't check to see if he actually said it or if it was like an onion thing, but I'm just going to put it out there. He said whatever. He said that his secret to good coaching is having the best players. And while I'm worried about the Lions because they're going to lose their offensive and defensive coordinator, they still have really good players. I think outside of safety, there's certainly nowhere that the Packers are better at a position group than the Lions.
And speaking of teams with a lot of dogs. By the way, that's Leo Chenal, Eagles star inside linebacker for them this year. And he is on the 4th ranked team in the way too early 2025 power rankings. This ranking having the Eagles at 4 after winning the Super Bowl and going 14-3 in the regular season.
That's mad disrespectful. They're better than the Packers.
So
right.
I've got 2 thoughts. Yeah, obviously better than the Packers. You said Leo Chenal did you mean Zach Bond?
He meant Zach Bond.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
That's Zach Bond.
Listen, you got to generate clicks somehow. There's going to be some regression because they're in a weird spot with the cap, but they're going to be great. I don't think you're going to see the repeat from Saquon Barkley, but we're sitting here next to somebody who won a gold medal, was the best in the world, and in their next crack at it, finished 4th.
Yeah. It's real.
It could happen.
It's possible.
But, were you not still ranked number 1 after winning the gold medal? Were you
I honestly, no, I don't think we were.
What?
To be fair.
Okay.
I mean, the Eagles are losing Kellen Moore. They're keeping Vic Fangio because God knows he can't be a head coach for any reason. But he's the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, outside of Steve Spagnuolo maybe. So they got plenty of consistency, unlike the last time they went to the Super Bowl and then lost both coordinators. So, yeah, I agree with you guys. All right, then 5th on this list, going back to the AFC once again. Now it's the Baltimore Ravens. Clearly swiping right ahead of the Packers.
right? I think so.
Yeah,
so?
Chris Orr has that defense in good spots.
It's
and
cool. I mean,
Exactly.
I can't. I don't want to bet against Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson's so good. And here's the thing: like, sure, Mark Andrews might have dropped off a cliff, but Isaiah Likely looks very good.
Okay.
So, like, I'm still gonna go with the Ravens.
They have Derrick Henry, who's going to be old, but he's going to be a monster.
He's still a monster.
All right. Well, then we'll go down on the 6th on the list. And now we're back in the NFC. The Washington Commanders going into next year. Considered the 6th best team. You saying they definitively are better than the Green Bay Packers?
See, this one.
Swiping right?
This one is where I'm willing to have that conversation. I don't know if I'm swiping right yet.
Would you be definitively swiping left?
I don't think I can definitively swipe left either, because there's a lot to be said about that sophomore slump. Everybody thought C.J. Stroud was the bee's knees last year or 2 years ago, his rookie year. This last season, he was fine.
He was fine.
He definitely didn't improve a whole lot. And I don't know if that's going to happen for Jaden Daniels, but oftentimes running quarterbacks can get figured out. They can put like spies on them, have people around, not like Bill Belichick spying. I'm talking like in the game where you have somebody who just focuses on the quarterback. But I like some of our position groups better.
This is the best conversation. And here's the thing.
We're finally to a spot where I can make this argument. I just because of where the Commanders finished, I'm going to give the edge to the Commanders. But at least we're starting to say that the Packers got a shot.
The Commanders have a true number one wide receiver in scary Terry McLaurin. That dude is crazy good. They've got some young talent on the defense. I think that's where, the team difference could end up happening. But Jaden Daniels has the it factor. He has 5, including the postseason, I believe it's 5, game-winning drives. And Jordan Love just doesn't have that. Jordan Love is a really good game manager. He has all of the natural ability in the world, but Jaden Daniels has put the team on his back multiple times and won games. He made a run in the playoffs very similar to how Jordan Love did last year. And I think that it's fine. I'm not. I think.
All right, we got to start going quickly because we got Jason Wilde coming up here soon. So
swipe right. I think the Commanders can be there.
Swiping right. All right, and guys, we got the Green Bay Packers at 7. And speaking of sophomore slumps, God knows I've been in one for the last 3 years. The Green Bay Packers 1 spot ahead of the Los Angeles Chargers, heading into the sophomore year of Jim Harbaugh as the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers.
I mean, he did take a team from 5 wins to a playoff appearance.
And they're not in the same cap spot as they were. Listen, until they can prove they can beat a really good team in an important moment, I say no.
Have the Packers proven that?
Yeah, I mean, they've beaten good teams. They haven't
in a significant moment.
Not
this
since
year.
the Cowboys.
Listen, yeah, they tore up the Cowboys. They blew out the Vikings. I take the Packers at this exact moment, but I think that there's also room there. But
all right, the next 2 guys, we got the Cincinnati Bengals coming off a 9-8 season.
The Bengals are going to be better.
Better than the Packers?
Definitely going to be better than they were this year.
Especially
their
if they
defense
keep T.
is
Higgins.
still brutal.
So better than the Packers.
I'll say the Packers are better. I'll take Packers on that one.
All right, then the 10th one, guys. Here we got the Minnesota Vikings coming off 14-3 and likely moving off of Sam Darnold.
Packers are better.
Packers are definitively better?
Yes.
Okay.
Packers are better.
Why are you giving me the wrong sound?
Well, because you're swiping left.
Oh, okay.
So you're swiping left, not better than the Packers.
I was like, that's not necessarily wrong. It's like my opinion, man.
Well, this is no kidding. It's all opinions.
Yeah, I'll take the Packers over the Vikings next year. Why not?
Yeah. It might be all opinions, Ryan, but I'll give you my opinion on this. Metcalf's Market is the best grocery store in the area. Fantastic produce. They've got a great meat selection. Right now, there's specials on heart-shaped ribeyes. They've also got some other fantastic Valentine's Day things like hand-dipped chocolate strawberries. They've got artisan chocolates, a wonderful flower selection, so you can get some good arrangements if you have those last-minute, I forgot about Valentine's Day problems. Metcalf's Market has your back. And don't forget to sign up for Metcalf's Rewards. There's thousands of coupons available. You can save hundreds of dollars every time you go on everyday items. So go check out Metcalf's. Get yourself the free Metcalf's rewards and bring local home.
Jason Wilde coming up next. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Want your own Free Food Friday from the Hut? Tune into Wilde and Tausch this Friday from 9 a.m. to noon for a chance to win 2 free large pizzas and 2 free orders of wings at select Pizza Hut locations. Perfect for a speedy lunch, a relaxing dinner, or anytime you're on the go. Head to pizzahut.com. That's pizzahut.com or the select Pizza Hut locations to enjoy your own Free Food Friday. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a 3, and he splashes it through for the left wing.
Brought to you by Bucks Plus Audio, the official home of the Bucks Podcast Network.
Giannis missed his 5th straight game with a calf injury as the Bucks fell to the Golden State Warriors 125-111 at Fiserv Forum. Damian Lillard paced Milwaukee with a game-high 38 points, but had half of the team's 20 total turnovers on the night.
Dame's going to step in and uncork a beauty. Top of the arc 3 for Dame. He's got 36, but it couldn't be just Lillard tonight. Someone else was going to have to step up in the second half. That someone has not stepped up yet.
Kyle Kuzma finished with 21 points, and Taurean Prince added 19, but were the only 3 players to hit double figures for the Deer. Next up for the 28-24 Bucks, a visit to the Minnesota Timberwolves Wednesday night, their final game before the All-Star break.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Bucks Plus Audio.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net. Get your Pop-A-Shot on and compete to be the Bud Light Mini Hoops Mania champion. Hey, it's Ben Brust inviting you to Bud Light's Mini Hoops Mania in Madison. A trip to Vegas during the best time of the basketball year is on the line. On February 22nd, head to the College Club from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. or Red Rock from 10 to 11 p.m. to compete in the first round of Mini Hoops Mania. Go all the way and have a chance to win $10,000 in Vegas. It's Bud Light's Mini Hoops Mania. Must be 21 years or older to play. Also enjoy responsibly at Wando's and Jordan's Big Ten Pub.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jason, Quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called "Don't Go Jason Waterfalls"?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Jason Wilde joins the show. I'm in for Jim Rutledge today. Jason, how's it going?
Great to be on Matt and Gravatt.
Hey!
How do we not think of that?
Let's go. I think Ryan and I might have toyed with that at one point, Gramat or something like that, but it didn't quite feel right.
Matt and Gravatt sounds pretty good.
Matt and Gravatt. Well, thank you for pronouncing my last name appropriately.
I would like to make sure that I don't take credit for that. That was Woolie's idea. The fact that he didn't suggest it until he and I were just chatting is a little disappointing, but I think it's outstanding, and I can't wait for brand new imaging for the show since, Molly's still in baby mode and Jimmy's under the weather. Hopefully he's back tomorrow, though.
I threw it out to Jim Rutledge, and he had only one response, Jason.
This is utterly preposterous that I've even heard that.
He just quoted Barry Alvarez to me. I couldn't really argue with that.
And honestly, if it just came from Ryan, it might not have been as impactful as coming from you. So I think Ryan knew that, and that's why he just put that bug in your ear.
Well, if I'm thinking of any instance of Barry Alvarez speaking out, it's him giving his thoughts on whatever Ben Brust might think.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I wanna transition a little bit away from Barry Alvarez. Not that he's not fantastic, but if you listen to Wilde and Tausch, your show today from 9 to noon, you heard a fantastic conversation about all of the things that he said last night. You can check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Jason, today Jim Rutledge, or last night I should say, Jim Rutledge took my ID badge, which we used to get in and out of the office, and then went home and took a sick day. So I couldn't get into the office this morning when I tried. It's cold outside. Ooh. Jim Rutledge.
No, not who. Ooh.
Ooh, okay, got it. And I was curious, you work with two of the biggest personalities I've, in the entire office, with the hall monitor and obviously Mark Tauscher. How do they get under your skin?
Well, first of all, Jesse's not a big personality.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Well, let's be honest. Secondly, I do work with some big personalities. Obviously, I talk to Ben twice a week. I obviously talk to Tausch every day. I work with Homer. That's a big personality for sure. I know there are those who might think I'm a little bit difficult to work with myself just because I am so demanding. But I can pretty much tolerate everything, at least professionally. So I can, those guys don't really get under my skin. And when Tausch is grumpy, or if something's bothering him, and it impacts how the program goes, that can be an issue. But beyond that, I very rarely have to tolerate anything from him. That's part of his charm.
Well, that's nice. I'm sure we've got some room to navigate here on this show for me figuring out when Jim Rutledge is grumpy over the Super Bowl. Very good example.
Chiefs win.
He was very grumpy during the Super Bowl, and we'll just leave it at that. Jason, I'm curious a little bit about, I hear all these rumors and all the people are saying, the Packers need this, Josh Jacobs saying we need a number one wide receiver. You got Keisean Nixon tweeting at Maxx Crosby and Davante Adams.
And Davante, yeah.
So
Love it.
What's happening? Is there any hope for the Packers to go out and sign a free agent, or did we, to put it bluntly, blow our wad last year and we got to build from within?
Can you say that on the radio?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure, Jason, but nobody on the radio heard it, so we're good.
Well, when you say that, it's like it's spending your cash.
No,
your wad of cash. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Did we spend it all? Did we lose everything in our wallets last year on free agents?
That's better.
Or, and we're just stuck building from within this year.
You should have asked it that way.
Oh my God, you are one of one, and I think that we have me saying that on the open, but it's true. first of all, they have the cap wherewithal, if they so choose, to pursue basically whoever they want. They can make it work. So I don't think they're in a situation where their only option is to improve from within. Now, that was something, obviously, that Tausch and I talked about today, and, we'll talk to Rob Domofsky on Friday. He was the one who, for his 3-word description of the offseason for the NFL Nation power rankings, chose improve from within. And I love Rob, and we've been friends for a really long time, but that doesn't mean we agree on everything. I don't think improve from within is sufficient, and I don't think Goody does either. And it doesn't really jibe with the idea of, there's a greater sense of urgency and they should be competing for championships. They need to augment the roster, and they need to do so beyond just their draft picks. Now, Tausch has been killing me for the last day and a half because he didn't understand the nuance of what I was saying or the fact that there are examples in recent Packers history. But, you look at Zach Bond and the impact that he had on the Eagles on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. I mean, yes, obviously, to get a guy who was a first-team All-Pro for peanuts, for popcorn money, everyone would love to do that. That said, Goody does have a history of finding some bargains. Now he made the mistake of re-signing one of them, and then he made the mistake of trading the other. But when he got the Davante Campbell in June of 21 on a cheap deal, and the dude goes out and he's a first-team All-Pro, that's basically what Zach Bond did this year. So that was a great move. Now, it wasn't a great move to sign him to an extension. The same thing with plucking Rasul Douglas off the Cardinals practice squad. I mean, the Packers, he was a huge piece for them. And then they obviously traded him at the trade deadline in 2023, which I believe was a mistake. And if Goody drank some Coors Light or maybe some True Serum, he would agree. So my point is that they need to hit on some, largely inexpensive guy, but then beyond that, they have the wherewithal to be able to spend on someone more expensive if they want to. The question is, who would that be? Now, I know that Davante Adams is at least open to the idea of coming back here. There are also other teams that could be interested in him as well. He's going to have a market. It's not like Aaron Rodgers where you're not quite sure which teams might be interested. I would think there'd be a number of teams that would be interested in Davante. How much he's willing to play for, how much money will play into his decision of where he might go, that all is a factor, but so too is, does Goody want him back? Or is him returning to the Packers just a pipe dream for him and for Keisean Nixon and Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs? I don't know. But the bottom line is there is nothing keeping the Packers from improving their roster from a financial standpoint that they can't do. That's just not true.
That makes me sad because I feel like they aren't going to do it. And when you tell me that they can.
If they don't, Matt, then you can be irritated with that, right? And maybe they don't. Maybe I'm wrong. It's certainly, Paula would tell you that happens all the time. But maybe they don't need it. Maybe my opinion is wrong, but I personally believe they need more than just a good draft class. They've had really good draft classes the last several years. I think 2022 is even starting to look even better with Quay Walker having played well for a good chunk of the season, with Davante Wyatt starting strong, missing time with the ankle injury, and then kind of finding his way late in the year back to that early season form. And then obviously you got your starting tackles from that class. You got 2 wide receivers from that class. But remember, all those guys are entering the last year of their contracts. The 2 first-round picks obviously can get fifth-year options. But that was a good class. 23 was a good class. 24 was a good class. If they have a good 25 draft class, I'm still not sure that that's quite enough to improve them to be a Super Bowl team.
That's Jason Wilde. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Matt Hamilton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, and we're talking a little bit about what the Packers need to do this offseason. You mentioned that they have hit on a handful of these draft classes, and I agree. The youth movement has been, for the most part, successful. Not a Super Bowl championship caliber team yet, but as I look at it, the two most impactful players that the Packers had last season, it feels like, were the free agents they brought in, Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. And then as you look at the continuation of this offseason, the people who are out there making the headlines, it's Josh Jacobs and largely kick returner extraordinaire, but cornerback one want to be. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. The kick returner. Keisean Nixon. Thank you. And those are the guys who are making the largest statements in making the headlines. Do the Packers need to have older players to be leaders in the locker room right now?
Well, I don't think you have to be older. I think you have to be experienced. And so Xavier McKinney, like you mentioned, Xavier McKinney, Josh Jacobs, those guys have experience, right? Obviously, they're not old guys per se, but they are certainly experienced guys. Keisean Nixon now has much more experience. When he got here, he was largely an afterthought in Oakland/Las Vegas. And when he got here, he has steadily gotten a much, much larger role with each passing year. And now he's out there, saying he's going to be CB1, and you don't return kicks when you're CB1. So those guys qualify. Let's remember too, come on. Jordan Love has to be a leader. You heard what Matt LaFleur said after the season in his season-ending press conference. Like, that's the biggest area where they are challenging him to step up. And so, whether or not, he's going to change his leadership style, I don't know. But the bottom line is that they need more from him than they've gotten in a leadership role, and he needs to step into that and be more effective. So I think they're fine in the leadership department. I don't think they necessarily have to go out and get veteran guys purely from a leadership standpoint. But certainly you want guys that are going to be productive and guys that are going to be able to then come in and take on a leadership role because they are looked upon as guys that you can emulate. Like that, again, that's another bonus potentially of Davante Adams. Right? The idea of having him on this team when none of these wide receivers have reached the point yet where you can say, okay, these guys are ready to really be top flight, number one or number one-ish wide receivers. Nobody sees control of that. So if Davante Adams comes in, not only can he be that guy because he still has plenty left in the tank, but he can also help those other guys as they grow into that role. I always bring this up, but it's true. All these guys that have become number ones in Green Bay, they are homegrown, and they weren't number ones immediately. It's not like when you draft Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, and they're a number one wide receiver the minute they walk in the building. Throughout Packers history, they've all been guys, since really Sharp, who was a number one right away, but wasn't super productive as a rookie. Usually it takes some time for them to grow into that. And the guys they have now, they've asked them to basically accelerate their learning curve, and they haven't really responded or elevated to that point. So, let's say you bring back Davante and he's kind of number one or number one-ish for the next 2 years, that gives time for these other guys, for a Dontavion Wicks, who's so similar to him in terms of his style of play, for a guy like Jaden Reed, for a guy like, if they bring back Watson after a truncated season next year, I don't know what his contract will look like. I don't know how it's going to work, but he's not going to be available until November, I would think. So it'll be interesting to see what his 26 situation is. My point is that Davante Adams buys you some time and delivers some much-needed leadership on a side of the ball where they don't have a lot of old guys.
I totally agree with you. And one factor that I noticed when you say we have all these homegrown guys, all those homegrown guys that came up had a number one to look up to at some point before they became the number one, except, like you said, maybe Sterling. But, like, you look at Davante Adams, Jennings and Jordy were on that team, and he got to get his feet wet as the 3 before he got to turn into the 1. And I feel like that's what this particular group of young players, young wide receivers needs, is somebody who's, like, is there taking some of that pressure off them while they're learning how to be that guy. Having an example of that guy that you want to aspire to be is nice to have on the same sideline as you.
Yeah, and look, that's what Davante had in Jordy. That's what Jordy had in Greg Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Greg Jennings had in
Antonio Freeman,
Donald
maybe?
Driver. Right? That's what Donald Driver had in Antonio Freeman. That's what Antonio Freeman had in Robert Brooks. That's what Robert Brooks had in Sterling Sharp. It's a whole lineage, and all of those guys had the opportunity to grow into that role. I mean, look, one of the biggest things Goody and I disagreed on was when he tried to convince me after he cut Jordy, and Jordy still went out and had 60 catches in Oakland with a new quarterback, was that the primary reason he moved on from Jordy was that he thought with Rodgers at quarterback, he would stunt Davante's growth as the number one receiver. And during the 2017 season, before Rodgers broke his collarbone, it was clear to anyone who was paying attention that Davante already was the number one wide receiver. And if anybody would be willing, in terms of their team-first personality, to let Davante take that and not try and, hold on to it tightly and not give it up, it's Jordy Nelson. And so I always thought that was a weak argument. And I think Davante would be willing to do a similar thing for those guys to help them through that process as well.
All right, last thing for you, Jason, before we let you go. You said you don't agree with the 3 words that Rob Domofsky had in his all-too-early power ranking for the NFL 2025, improve from within. What are your 3 words for the Green Bay Packers this upcoming season?
Urgency above everything. I think Goody bringing that up publicly is such a major, I don't want to call it a red flag because it's not really that. It's more of a notification or putting guys on notice. Like, to me, that says that he got the feeling, and maybe Matt LaFleur did too, that when you have such a young team, there's a mentality of, oh yeah, it would be great to win, but if we don't do it, there's always next year, and we're going to be even better next year. And I got the sense that was Goody's frustration. So I really am curious to see if this group comes into next season playing as if, hey, this is our last hurrah. Because you saw that from the late Rodgers teams, because there were guys that were toward the end of their careers. Obviously, none of these guys are necessarily at the end of their careers, but they could be in the end of their Packers careers. Like, not everybody's going to get a second contract. So I'm very curious to see if there's that level of urgency, because that's exactly what this team needs. And it's not me saying it, it's the general manager saying it.
All right, Jason, thanks so much for your time.
Great again to be on Matt and Gravatt, and I can't wait for the new imaging. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
That was Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch. You're going to hear him 9 to noon every day with large personality Mark Tauscher and, I guess, medium personality Jesse Nelson. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Whoa, Nelly!
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. A storybook ending for Super Bond. Zach Bond capping off his incredible season with the Philadelphia Eagles. The former Badger with an interception on the game's biggest stage off Patrick Mahomes. Winning a ring, not his only flex this season either. First team All-Pro honors, a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, and named a Pro Bowler to go with it. The Pro Bowl incentive adding an extra $500,000 to the pockets. Congrats to the Deer Creek native and Badger legend.
Get Pella windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit Pella at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. This feels like the perfect time of year to share how much I loved my experience working with Madison Weight Loss. I was able to drop 40 pounds in 60 days. You might just love the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, too. Schedule a free consultation at MadisonWeightLoss.com.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week, Jonah Kuhn and Jacob Kuhn from Madison Abundant Life Christian. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, basketball, first of all, you guys got to state last year. Getting to the state finals. What was that whole road like, Jonah?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. Our motto the whole season was Rise to Glory. What better way than to do it at the Kohl Center?
So we're looking back on your time. I'll start with you, Jacob. What is it going to mean to you to have been at Abundant Life Christian for 4 years?
I've been there since kindergarten, actually. Through the years, I've developed really close friends because since we're a small school, you know everyone. You're pretty much friends with everyone. So the close community that we have at ALCS is something that I'll never forget.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues. Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on ESPN Madison. Listen to every game this season starting on opening day on March 27th right here on Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers Baseball, 100.5 ESPN. The Green Bay Packers offseason has started, and offseason's been well underway for the Wisconsin Badgers football team as they fell well short of their goal this past year, missing a bowl game for the first time in 23 seasons. On last night's football season finale of the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, he shared some harsh thoughts about where the team's standing heading into year 3 of Luke Fickell.
I mean, we went a long time. We worked our fannies off to start winning, win championships, and be good, and go to bowl games every year. And damn it, we did it better than everybody for 20-some years after not going for like a million years. Now, these guys have to fight their ass off to get back into that groove. I hope that they understand that. They've got a responsibility. I don't like where we are right now. They need to bounce back and put this program back where it belongs.
Woof. Harsh words from the Don. Listen back to that on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. Second hour,
Metro
Jim and
Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's gonna swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me. I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Bombardment?
Yes.
I didn't bombard.
Bombardment, Ryan.
Yeah.
And Janet Jackson might have been my first boob.
This guy.
Because I'm here for whatever.
It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, let me ask you a question. Matt, let me ask you a question.
If you get food poisoning from a place, do you go back?
Like for more food?
No, if you go back ever. Like you get a bad burger from a place.
And give them a second chance? No.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Alex Gravatt.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. I'm Alex Gravatt. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show on the ESPN Wisconsin Carbless Talk and Text line. We are presented by Coors Light, Matt Hamilton, and the mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light. I'm going to have to crush one later tonight, too, by the way.
You're going to have to crush one later.
Yeah. Why? Just, I've had a day.
Whoa, really? Okay, well,
yeah.
How is this the first time hearing him? We've been in this room for an hour. We've been talking for an hour and a half. What happened?
Nothing special. I just had like a honey-do list, and I was very productive. The downside to the day was I woke up, turned the heater in my gym on, or at least I thought I did, and then like an hour later was like, okay, perfect, ready to work out, and I just turned the fan on.
Oh.
So it was still like 23 degrees inside my gym.
Yeah, and that is too cold. Like I mean, gyms are always kept cool, I feel like. My gym's always really cold. I think, Prime, you used the same one that I did for a while, and it was
Judgmental Gym.
It was cold, but it's not like painful. 23 is genuinely too cold to work out.
Yes, but like I literally end up wearing gloves in there just because all the equipment's too cold to like touch with your bare hands. Right, like even after the gym warms up, like
are they the fingerless like cool guy lifting gloves?
No, they're just
like you're shoveling.
Like, they're my curling sponsor gloves.
Okay,
so they're like leathery on the palm side, so that's good enough.
Yeah, I mean that'll get the job
done.
And
then other honey-do list stuff like.
But you came in with some candies for us.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I had to get my oil changed, and then they're like, oh, we can't figure out why the oil pressure light's not going off, so let's just give you a loaner, and you can come back later and get your car.
That's annoying. So you didn't even drive your own car here?
No.
Oh.
I got a loaner.
Is it at least like a fun loaner?
No. No, it's pretty like, it's a very forgetful vehicle.
My dad has this saying, and of course I think most people do, but the fastest car on earth is a rental. Because you can just, it's not your car, you don't care. But this car is not the fastest car in the world.
It's not, and I honestly, I'm definitely getting old. I don't even like to drive that fast anymore. I like to put on some tunes and get in the slow lane, and I'll just deal with whatever's in front of me. Because you don't have to worry about people coming up on you, and you got to get over for them if you're in a faster lane.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm very conscious of it. When I am in a fast lane, I have to get back over because I don't want to be that guy who's slowing everyone else down that does want to go fast.
You're a good man.
And I was that person. I wanted to go ripping in the left lane, but now I'm just like, I'm going to get home and I'm going to save myself, 5 minutes? Like, what's the big deal when I'm driving 15 or 20?
Listen, I hear you, and I think that's very valid. Personally...
It's just old man move now.
I want to go as fast as the law will allow me because I got things to do. I got all sorts of stuff that I want to do. There's a song from Rod Tough Curls and the Bench Press, one of my favorite cover bands, which Jesse Nelson doesn't like. If you know, you know. But it's stuff to do. Stuff to do, he says. But he says words that I can't say on the air here on ESPN Wisconsin.
Fair
it's
enough.
a FCC violation. But you brought back these candies. The Tootsie Roll.
Yes.
And you came in hot with just, this is the best, not the best candy, the most underrated candy.
I think, they're so overlooked and people just kind of assume that it's like trash candy. Like I had a Tootsie Roll on the way in and was like, you know what? This is a lot better than I remember. And I was guilty of drastically underrating it. I don't think it's elite or like good. It's good, but it's not a bad candy. Like there's so many other candies that are worse than that. So like, yeah, I think a Tootsie Roll is drastically underrated.
Put it on the poll. We're going to put it at the poll at Jim, Matt, and Molly. Is the Tootsie Roll the most underrated candy?
Just say, is it underrated, overrated, or just
Properly
right?
rated.
Just right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like a little Goldilocks poll.
Oh, you love a Goldilocks poll.
I do love me a Goldilocks poll.
You love the Goldilocks.
No, I like them, but I've never in my life bought a bag of Tootsie Rolls. I've bought almost every other bag of candy. I've got a major sweet tooth. I brought it in. I think part of the reason is because everyone has them forever, and then you don't end up eating them until they're like really hard and kind of stale and not that good. But fresh Tootsie Roll, not bad.
Yeah, and that is our Citing Unlimited poll question. The Tootsie Roll, is it underrated, overrated, or properly rated? Little Goldilocks poll brought to you by our Citing Unlimited poll question.
Absolutely. And we had Jason Wilde on just a moment ago to talk a little bit more about the Packers, where they're at, the 3 words for the offseason on Rob Domofsky's way too early NFL power rankings for 2025, improve from within. I think we're all on the same page that just isn't that exciting. The only person we haven't heard from on this is Primetime. And Prime, do you think that it's improved from within?
Please no. I hope it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be what it is, but if they improve from within, I think they get like 5% better maybe. Because you're just assuming the wide receivers are going to get better again. And
Which last year they didn't.
And that's what I was going to say. It's that unfortunately, I don't always like to say that Jim Rutledge is right, but sometimes, you know what? Dang it.
This is utterly preposterous that I've even heard that.
Jim Rutledge is right. The wide receivers didn't take a significant leap, and there's really no reason to think that any of them will again. I mean, maybe Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's the one guy who I think has a higher ceiling than where he's currently at. But other than that, Christian Watson's not going to be back till midway through the season probably. Romeo Doubs is probably pretty close. He's kind of like a Jordan Love version of a wide receiver where he's like pretty close to his ceiling, which is pretty good, but feels capped at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's someone who you genuinely have to worry about and who's going to do, just excellent things on the field all the time, then suddenly his PPR style, reception-based career, he's effectively a tight end. He could still be a 900-yard receiver, but he's not going to be the exciting pick, the sexy pick. He's just kind of the dude.
Yeah, and 900 yards is going to assume that we're throwing the ball a lot, which based on the numbers from this last season, if Jordan Love had over 30 passes in a game, one of them was at least an interception.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't see the ball being thrown enough for us to have, if Jaden Reed's going to be our number one, that Romeo Doubs is going to get 900 yards. Because Jaden Reed only had 856 this year with an additional 180, I think, rushing or something along those lines.
Right. And so if you're going to talk about bringing in another wide receiver, say a Davante Adams, which is what Jason believes is happening, but is likely that would be very good for the Packers. I agree that it would be very good for the Packers. I definitely don't see Davante coming in here again. It's hard for me personally to get over the fact that We've all gone through a breakup. Getting back together with your ex doesn't often work out, I feel like. And that's where, Davante Adams and Brian Gutekunst might still be at odds. It might not happen. But let's play out the game. If they do bring him in, then does that open up the world for Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs to start getting a lot more looks and be better utilized?
See, and that's kind of what stood out to me the most, Jason Wilde talking about the lineage, how we got from number one wide receiver to the next number one wide receiver and who those guys had in front of them. This is, obviously not this year, but since Davante left, we have been in a spot where we don't have a number one wide receiver to kind of guide that next class, so to speak. I can't do it as well as Jason. I might be able to remember it, but all the way back to the Favre era, all the way back to Sterling Sharp for number one wide receivers.
Oh yeah,
there's been a guy who's been able to take the torch, but also learn from the guy in front of him. Robert Brooks learned from Sterling Sharp. And then before that, it was Antonio Freeman, I think, from Robert Brooks. And then probably Greg Jennings, learning from Antonio Freeman.
Yes, there was kind of an influx, but Donald Driver's a big part of that.
Donald Driver,
and he was there through all of these 2010s. And while he wasn't
Jordy learning from Jennings, and Adams maybe learning a little bit from Jordy.
Absolutely.
They've all of the guys, and I understand the homegrown aspect of that, and like build from within, so to speak, with these wide receivers. But you have taken away a major key that it seems like the Packers have relied on heavily in the past 30 years of developing these wide receivers, is having one currently to show the way. Hold the torch, carry the light until someone else can take it.
And the other part about that, which is maybe not true for the first time in a long time, in 28 years, because 28 years ago today, the Packers traded for Brett Favre, according to his Twitter post at least. They've had a Hall of Fame quarterback there to throw him the ball. I'm not saying Jordan Love can't be that. I say at this point in his career, it seems less likely, but he's definitely not everything that Brett Favre was. He's not everything that Aaron Rodgers was. And so having a guy to rely on when you get into the red zone will, make the red zone offense much more efficient. Yeah. You have a guy, even DeAndre Hopkins, who's washed and past his prime. We all saw it in the Super Bowl. But when push came to shove in the 2-minute or for a 2-point conversion, he went out there and made a ludicrous catch, and it was amazing. It was that I have a guy that I can trust to go in, and I don't think you're ever going to get that from Romeo Doubs. Whereas, if we're bringing,
I don't think Jaden Reed's that guy. I think he's really good and explosive, and he's definitely he's the kind of weapon. Guy, but I don't think he's the 3rd and 6. Who am I going to? I don't think it's Jaden Reed.
No, he's the guy that you scheme up a play for on 2nd down. He is a playmaker, but he's not a dominant player. Right?
That's why I'm kind of hoping Tucker Kraft takes that role as like a tight end. It just to be Tucker Kraft.
Never heard of him.
I'm not saying anything else other than I want him to step up and be that security blanket.
I forgot about this
for Jordan Love. But I won't say anything about how he may or may not be my new person.
Stop it.
I didn't say it the same way.
I had to dump you once today. I have to do it again?
Oh my gosh. You're just hot on that trigger.
Well, it was even better yesterday when we had Jared Allen saying, and he didn't even know who Tucker Kraft was. He couldn't name the Packers tight end.
I know.
And we're talking about him as the guy who we're hoping to be the one who takes the step and becomes the true number 1 receiver.
No. The security blanket. Guy who I can trust.
But that's Romeo Doubs.
I'm thinking 6 to 8 catches a game, but being the guy in the big moment.
If we bring it back to the Siding Unlimited poll question, right now the Packers have a bunch of Tootsie Rolls. They're great. Don't get me wrong. We all like Tootsie Rolls when you try a good one.
I don't know about great, but they're good.
They're good. They're underrated, perhaps, and I think particularly for Romeo Doubs, it's a great fit because the ceiling is capped. You're never going to have a Tootsie Roll and just lose your mind. This is it. This is what I wanted today. I'm so excited for this, but you're I can eat one of these. This is fine. And so the Siding Unlimited poll question, it's our Goldilocks poll, which Matt Hamilton loves, is the Tootsie Roll properly rated, overrated, or underrated? We all are kind of in agreement here. Or at least
we all got
a
bunch of Tootsie Roll, and that's the
they're
worst.
Underrated, but I want a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sometime.
Exactly.
Sorry, Ryan.
Please, in my wide receiver candy, I want 1 Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and then the rest can be Tootsie Rolls. And
what kind of candy is Davante Adams?
Oh, Davante Adams gives me. Because he's just so. It's well crafted. What are those Fiera Rochers?
Whoa. That's a word.
Crunchy ones.
Ferrera.
The circles.
Ferrero Rocher. Yeah,
and you have to unwrap it. It's like the foil ball.
Oh, okay.
He feels like a polished, fancy kind of get one that you're excited to get for Valentine's Day.
A candy that's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's very classical.
Classic candy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think Jaden Reed is our nerds cluster where you're just they're new, they're exciting, but I don't know, I don't ever buy them. They're delicious. There's a Super Bowl ad about them because people are excited.
I mean, they're really good, and I have purchased.
Wait, there's a Super Bowl ad about Jaden Reed?
Yeah, 100%. He was the guy. You saw him just absorbing all those nerds. Big gummy guy.
Big gummy guy, of course. Jaden Reed.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Dinner just got easier and tastier. Pizza Hut's Ultimate Hut Bundle is here to save the day. Starting at just $24.99, you can get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings in your favorite flavor, and your choice of cinnamon, cheese, or breadsticks with 2 dips. Feed the family or wow your friends without breaking the bank. The Ultimate Hut Bundle is only here for a limited time. Hurry in and order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. This feels like the perfect time of year to share how much I loved my experience working with Madison Weight Loss. I was able to drop 40 pounds in 60 days. You might just love the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, too. Schedule a free consultation at MadisonWeightLoss.com.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. 20-year James client Daniel Bertelson, CEO at RE/MAX Preferred.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Local reliability and consistency has also had a positive impact for Baker Manufacturing. Purchasing Manager Jennifer Wilger.
It helps keep us efficient and productive, and we can keep our minds on what's really important, and that's taking care of our customers.
And Josh Gavel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance, also depends on the reliability and consistency of local service from James Imaging Systems.
Yeah, you get somebody that knows what they're doing, come in here and get it done in 5 minutes, and we're not having to take our time to do it.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Matt Hamilton, are you a hipster?
Yeah. I roasted coffee today.
You roasted coffee and you came into the office with the take that the most underrated candy is the Tootsie Roll.
Not the most. I'm just saying it's drastically underrated.
And 62.5% of the people who have answered our Siding Unlimited poll question agree with you that it is underrated. 25% say overrated, though. So this is relatively divisive. 12.5% say it is properly rated. But we've got a lot of stuff to get to from the Super Bowl that we have yet to get to. But, Matt, what were you enjoying while you were watching the Super Bowl? What were you drinking?
I was drinking some delicious beer from that Leinekugels, baby. The Juicy Peach. Fantastic beer. First of all, I'm a sour fan. This is not a sour. This one is like a drinkable, kind of tart, delicious beer. And the peach isn't like that fake peach flavor that you get in weird ice cream. It really does taste like peaches. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with the Juicy Peach, but there's a ton of great flavors for every moment, whether it's the Leinenkugels Honey Weiss, Berry Weiss. You've got the Leine's Original, which always slaps. Leine's has a beer for you. So go check out Leinenkugels wherever you get delicious beers. And remember, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Leinenkugels never misses, but Matt does. Here's what's Matt missed.
Context is important.
Oh, man.
Except when you're an Olympic gold medalist.
Honestly, I have no idea who it is. Here we go, yo. Obviously, he's talking about, maybe.
It's time for What Matt Missed on Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Leinenkugels. Flavor the moment.
Yeah, Matt, and while you were busy enjoying all those Leinies, some of us were watching the game and also listening to some of the reactions coming out of the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs failing to three-peat as they lose 40-20.
Yuck.
Excuse me, I'm choking just like they were.
All right, he actually
40-22.
So, yeah, 40-22.
My throat. Sorry, I apologize. But yes, we got to review some of the reactions coming out of the Super Bowl, some of the ones that Matt Hamilton perhaps did not hear. So let's see if he can tell who it is who's speaking in some of these clips on Monday reacting to the Super Bowl.
Listen, I owe publicly Jalen Hurts an apology. I was probably one this year who's been the hardest on him. I'll go back a couple weeks ago when I said the passing game's not good enough right now, and I don't think it's going to get better. All he's done since then is have his two best games of the year on the two biggest stages that the game has been on.
Matt Hamilton, any idea whose voice that is?
Unfortunately, I have no idea whose voice that is.
Not at all, really?
I mean, I feel like I've heard it before, but I don't think I can put a name on it.
G?
Yeah, he ran out of the back of the end zone while playing for the Lions. Does that help?
Should.
Dan, the man.
It sounds like Rob Domofsky, sort of, but it's not. Dan. There it is. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Why'd you sound? You really sounded it out to see if it rhymed.
Oh, it was more of like, let's start saying it, and if I'm right, it's okay, and if it's wrong, I can stop saying the full name. You know, like not fully committing to the answer is what that was.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, Matt, let's get the next one here for you. Now, I lied. This one's not actually from Monday. This is from the post game immediately after the Chiefs lost. Let's see if you can guess who this is speaking to the media.
You know, I saw a lot of things in the media about the refs, but obviously what y'all going to say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls? Are y'all going to report that? Are y'all going to talk about the refs now?
Who's that is upset about the touchy calls for the Chiefs or against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Is that Chris Jones?
Let me play the voice for you one more time. Let's see if you've ever. Let me know if you've ever heard this voice.
You know, I saw a lot of things in the media about the refs, but obviously what y'all going to say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls? Are y'all going to report that? Are y'all going to talk about the refs now?
Ever heard that person talk before? Quiet guy, humble guy, most people would say. A little soft-spoken, reserved.
No, I don't know it either.
No,
don't look
either of you guys?
No.
I feel like you're
Sounds a little Southern.
It is Southern. He's from, I believe, he's from South Carolina.
That sounds right, yeah.
Played at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I have heard this guy before or heard him talk
I don't think you have. That's the point. Because I don't know if you've ever heard DeAndre Hopkins speak.
Oh, yeah.
That was DeAndre Hopkins?
That was DeAndre
Dude,
Hopkins.
Shut up. You got blown up. No call was worth that. I mean, yes, the calls came at inopportune times, but how about don't hold?
It honestly felt like that was like one of the first times I watched the Chiefs games, and I did not see one play that I thought was chintzy go in favor of the Chiefs.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you could probably throw a holding flag on just about every NFL play.
Right.
So, like, I get that, but I felt like it wasn't so egregious. I do think the Eagles got the favorable calls. Maybe some ones that were maybe suspect went more to the Eagles than the Chiefs, but, like, that didn't lose them the game. So, like, I hate hearing that out of DeAndre Hopkins.
All right, hold on
and
really
especially
quick.
a guy who, like, you would say,
I got
DeAndre
mad
Hopkins.
respect for DeAndre Hopkins and what he's done over his career.
By the way, we're talking about him like he's already done playing. Came out today, Adam Schefter tweeted yesterday that he was going to retire. I did see some news, at least this was a Dove Kleiman tweet, that DeAndre Hopkins has come out and said he's not retiring, in case anyone was wondering. So, interesting. But At this point, DeAndre Hopkins, what is he on his 4th team with the Chiefs? I guess he went from Texans, Cardinals, Titans.
Oh,
Chiefs.
I forgot about the Titans. Yeah.
How far off do you think Davante Adams is from having DeAndre Hopkins' exact same career?
Well, he'll end up on the same team he did before. Isn't that what we're hoping for? He'll make a full circle instead of like an S through the league. Back to the Packers.
I mean, that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for here. What if he ends up on the same? What if he takes DeAndre Hopkins' spot?
That would be really good.
That would be very good if you're a Chiefs fan.
That would be a very smart move. I mean, they get older.
Chiefs win.
Man, with Xavier Worthy and him, that would be way better than anything the Packers have.
Don't forget Rashee Rice.
Oh, I did forget Rashee Rice. You're right, because, I mean, he didn't play. But, yeah. Also, the point of this that I just want to point out, they had 75 yards of penalties, I believe. Yes, 75 yards for the Chiefs. If you take those away, they still... They just barely catch them in total yards. It's just it wasn't close.
It never mattered.
It never mattered. 12 first downs, bud.
No, most people are more focused on the halftime show, actually, guys. In fact, that even dominated some of the conversation on First Take on Monday.
You know, I saw a lot of things in the media.
No, that's the wrong guy there. Sorry about that, DeAndre Hopkins.
That was DeAndre. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Good job.
That was D-Hop. All right, here we go. Now you recognize this voice for sure, Matt Hamilton.
Oh, none of that's happening.
Hold on, no.
That's what he said.
If I'm married and my wife is going to join trolling her ex, go back to his ass. Because clearly you don't belong with me. What you worried about him for and you with me? Okay.
Matt Hamilton? I know you know that voice.
That's Stephen A.
That's Stephen A. Smith. There you go. And he's speaking about who?
He's speaking about Beyonce. Excuse me.
What did you just say?
I said Beyonce, but I meant Serena Williams.
The GOAT.
I meant Serena Williams. The thing is, is she dating anybody right now?
I believe she's married. She's married.
Is she married?
She is married, yes. I'd have to check to see
and
who.
He's saying that it's a bad look for her to troll her ex from literally they broke up in 2010, I think I read, or 2011.
I never realized that they had been dating, to be honest. I didn't know that was a thing
right
back in the day.
I don't know. I thought that was a little bit of a weak take from Stephen A, but I mean, I guess I get it.
Hilarious take, but also, yeah, it's so far in the past, and the whole point of the thing was to make fun of Drake. He smiled at the camera and he said, "Hey, Drake," like he was Mickey Mouse just meandering down the street. It was hilarious.
And if there's anyone who's okay with being a troll, it's got to be Serena Williams' husband, who, by the way, is Alexis Carey Ohanian, who is a co-founder of Reddit, which is the site made for trolling.
Yeah,
oh my
for
gosh.
sure.
If there's anyone who can appreciate a good troll, it's Alexia, I'm sure. Excuse me. Alexis. Good name. All right, let's get the last one here for you, Matt Hamilton. Now, this is a bit of a curveball. Let's see if you've been paying attention to some of the reactions on Monday after the day after the Super Bowl.
I mean, we went a long time. We worked our fannies off to start winning, win championships, and be good, and go to bowl games every year. And damn it, we did it better than everybody for 20-some years after not going for a million years. Now, these guys have to fight their ass off to get back into that groove. I hope that they understand that. They've got a responsibility. I don't like where we are right now. They need to bounce back and put this program back where it belongs.
Amen.
Matt Hamilton, that voice.
Barry Alvarez.
Woo!
Nailed it.
Indeed.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, Tarek Sala, Derek Engler.
Well-hosted show. Great host of that show.
Well-produced, too.
Really well-produced. Riley Gauk on the ones and twos, keeping us sounding real clean.
Yeah, it's a good show. What did you think about some real passion from Barry last night, speaking about the Badgers going into year 3 of Luke Fickell?
So, I'm totally with him. I know that weird records like that mean nothing. Most consecutive bowl games, you don't get a trophy for that. There's no award for it. Essentially, it doesn't mean anything, but it means something to me personally. As a fan of the Badgers, I think it's important. I realize that having a stat like that isn't the end-all be-all. There's plenty of schools that can go on to have great success that have down years and miss bowl games. I just really liked that the Badgers had 20-some years of consistent bowl-level quality play, and if I'm Barry Alvarez and I started that run and it carried on for as long as it did and now it was squandered, I would want those players and that coaching staff to realize this is not what Wisconsin football is. This is not what Barry helped build up to Wisconsin football to be, and it's time to get back to the bowl game.
Listen, Matt, I hear what you're saying, that in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter on the impact of any game, on the impact of but the pressure and the history and the ability to bring in talent with a stat like that, with a record like that, is so wildly important. And I know that it's obviously not the same, but the Wisconsin Hodags, that is the University of Wisconsin's Frisbee team, the club Frisbee team, had the longest national streak of all time. And everyone talked every year through my entire college career how scared and how motivated they were to not be the team that finally let it fall through. And it matters. It matters inside the organization.
And now they're the first team that has a chance to bounce back from this in 23 years, to get back to the bowl game after not making it after this record.
That's not a storyline.
No, but it is a storyline.
It's a storyline here in Madison. It is not a national storyline. No one's paying attention to that.
This is for them. If they can't dig deep and find that to be important to themselves, to them as a organization in the Badgers football team, and as a culture that you're trying to instill as Luke Fickell, if you can't get your guys to rally around the idea that last year we fell short of 23-year run, we need to bring this back, and we got to start our own run. Right. And it starts this season.
But you know what he walked into? A 23-year run that ended on his account. That is the storyline. The only thing that he can do now is push the Badgers to their first ever college football playoff. If he doesn't do that, it is a failure. If we get back to making it to the ReliaQuest Bowl or the Pinstripe Bowl or whatever bowl game we get, if it's not something important, I don't care. Like, yes, another 23-year streak would be fantastic, and I think the Badgers are in a kind of place where that is possible. But he needs to go out there, Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin Badgers, and get to a playoff, because now it's been done.
I mean,
already.
he's not going to do it in this next year.
No, it's not. But we've proven that the Badgers can do 23 consecutive years and have the best streak of all.
Yeah, and that's the sad part, is it was the best in the country.
And it's not, we're never going to catch Ohio State now. Like, we will never have a longer streak than them unless they get caught cheating again. They're going to consistently be in the bowl game. So we will, I would be shocked. It would be outlandish to hear that the Badgers ever have that streak again. So now it is about top-tier excellence, and can the Badgers get there? And that's what is now on the plate of Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin Badgers.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the thought that, hey, the goal is make a bowl game so we can continue to have this streak of most bowl games. Now that that's out the window, maybe it is, let's focus on being the best instead of just good enough for the bowl games.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
We're going to throw some stones coming up next. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s is Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, One call, that's all.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Steinhaffel's President's Day sale is happening now. Find great deals on amazing bonus buys throughout the entire store. Then take an extra $100 off every $17.99 you spend. Plus, get a $100 MasterCard for every $17.99 you spend. See store for details. Or make your new room more affordable with Steinhaffel's 36-month 0% financing. Get in today because these deals won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
The host might be irrelevant, but the conversations aren't.
By moving Chris Middleton and adding Kyle Kuzma, if you got better, it was by a very, very thin margin, right? You did not get significantly better today.
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
But the other big question I think a lot of people are asking, rightfully so, is how's Giannis feel?
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe. Live on ESPN Madison's YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And available wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
50 on the Siding Unlimited poll question. Well, not 50-50, sorry. It is 46-46 and 7.5. So I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Matt Hamilton. I'm in because Jim Rutledge took my badge home last night and then took a sick day, so I had to work hard to get into the building. It was a whole ordeal. But the Siding Unlimited poll question, Matt Hamilton brought some Tootsie Rolls in from his mechanic, and he asked, overrated, underrated, properly rated, because he thinks that they are underrated. And I, at first thought, I was like, oh, I don't care, whatever. But being fed a Tootsie Roll, I mean, you didn't feed it to me, you gave it to me, but I got a Tootsie Roll out of it. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I forget how good they are.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not ever going to be your favorite candy, but there's so many worse candies out there. I think they kind of get a bad rap. It's like, that's the candy that you throw out at the parade. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
They also throw out Jolly Ranchers, and I don't think anyone would say those are bad.
True. That's absolutely true.
I think like sneaky good. The fruit-flavored Tootsie Rolls. Ever had those?
Those I have a problem with.
Fruity
so I'd love
Tootsies?
to hear. Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Fruity Tooties.
Fruity Tooties? Something like that, yeah.
I didn't know that's what they were called. I made that statement before knowing they were called Fruity Tooties. I would have said otherwise, but I knew that was
they
their
have
name.
like the vanilla and then some of the other flavors.
Vanilla, there's like a blueberry one.
I think they're good too.
I hate grape-flavored candy. It reminds me of medicine. They're the worst. But I do think I remember my grandma worked at a bank while I was growing up.
And they gave out Oreos.
They gave out the Fruity Tooties, and I think I ate all of the grape ones. I thought the grape ones were awesome back then. But now that we're talking about it, overrated jumps up above underrated. I'm a little I now have emotional ties to the Tootsie Roll that I just ate. I've got the little wrapper right here, and I'm just pro Tootsie Roll now.
I didn't think overrated deserved any votes. I thought at the worst, a Tootsie Roll is properly rated at like mid.
Because no one's out here saying that they're the best.
Right.
They're just fine.
That's part of what I was trying to get at.
And they're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, the overrated part, like, you people, you must have some exquisite taste in candy if you think Tootsie Rolls are overrated.
Someone says Milk Duds on the, what is it? Captain Caveman says Milk Duds are for sure not Tootsie Rolls. And I think Milk Duds are way overrated.
Yeah, dude, those pull your teeth out. The caramel's bad. No, I'm not a Milk Dud fan.
You know who might be overrated? Aaron Rodgers. Let's throw some stones, Ryan.
1, 2, 3, up.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out.
I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, we're going to throw some stones. And Aaron Rodgers was told he's effectively not welcome back to the Jets. And if he were going to be on the Jets, he'd come to all of the preseason training camps. He would stop doing all things with Pat McAfee. And effectively, he would just have to play by the rules that most other quarterbacks in the NFL have to play by. And so I'm curious, now that he is likely going to find a new home outside of the Jets, Matt, what is the funniest place that Aaron Rodgers could end up?
Well, my initial response was the Toronto Argonauts if he ended up in the CFL.
Okay.
But realistically, he'd probably get a spot somewhere in the NFL. Honestly, I think it'd be funny if he ended up on the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, okay. I think that's fine. I don't think that there's...
Hold on. Why is that funniest? What's funny about the Titans?
Because, it's a team that I don't see,
Rodgers, the number 1 overall pick.
Because they're the worst team in the NFL?
Yeah. Rodgers doesn't want to be on a rebuild. And that was, then he went to the Jets because he thought, obviously, solid defense, some good players.
There's only reasons to think that it would work.
There's no reason to think that, the Titans are even a playoff team. So I think it'd be funny if he just went to a team that didn't have a shot at making a playoff. And the Titans seem like one of those for next year.
So there's very clearly a correct answer here.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers left the Green Bay Packers. It was all we could talk about for years, literal years, as he tried to decide whether he wanted to play for the Green Bay Packers or not. He finally does it because he watches one man. He watches Tom Brady go off, this guy who he could never truly compete with. Go off, he starts his own thing. He's like, I'm going to get all my friends. We're going to go down to Tampa. We're going to go down. We're going to celebrate. We're going to get drunk on the beach, and we're going to win a Super Bowl. It's going to be fine. And he does it. He beats Aaron Rodgers to do it. And so Aaron Rodgers sits here. He's like, okay, I don't want to go to Tampa. I'm not going to go to Florida. That's retirement move. I'm going to go to New York. And I'm going to have all this money and this city life. And I'm going to have all my buddies come. And I'm going to run everything. And it falls apart. Now, so he failed to live up to the Tom Brady standard. There's only one thing he can do now, and it's go to the Raiders, where Tom Brady's his boss.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Getting all his paychecks from Daddy Brady.
Plus,
Game over.
the whole getting Davante to come over from the Raiders and then go to the Raiders.
Alan Lazard's coming with him wherever he goes. That's for sure.
You think so?
Because he doesn't have a starting spot anywhere else in the NFL.
Are the Raiders a playoff team if they keep Maxx Crosby and bring in Aaron Rodgers?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Who do
in
they
that
have?
division,
Who else?
That division is
Jacoby
almost
Myers?
as good
Hold on.
as the NFC North.
They have Brock Bowers, who was a very good tight end this year.
Jacoby Myers, is that who?
Jacoby Myers is their leading wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I think Brock Bowers is the
He might have been
leading
1,000
wide
wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
1,000-yard,
Jacoby Myers?
Yeah.
No.
He had a pretty good season.
If it does, that definitely negates the impact of being a 1,000-yard receiver. That makes it mean much less, I'll be honest. Brock Bowers, very good, though.
Oh, yeah, 1,027.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, I mean,
4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns? Okay. Well, would Aaron Rodgers be backing up Aiden O'Connell in that case?
No.
No.
He would also probably still make a fair amount of money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he'll be okay wherever he goes, I think.
But it's not about money at this point. He wants to do what Tom Brady did. He won't be able to, and so he's going to... It would be hilarious to me to go to the best division in football where he's going to finish last in the division, which I don't know if...
Is there a spot that he could
did.
go and be competitive? The only thing...
Steelers.
Is the Steelers, right?
That's the only
they
one
move
that makes
on from
sense.
Russell Wilson, and then Aaron Rodgers comes in, and he's probably getting the same rules that the Jets gave him from Tomlin.
I don't know. Okay, let's be honest. Tomlin has allowed good, talented players to kind of do whatever the...
Antonio Brown.
they want George Pickens, Chase Claypool, Juju dancing on the field pregame, TikTok style.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin kind of lets guys do what they want to do. He empowers players.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I'm not saying it's the right move to empower Aaron Rodgers, but I wouldn't be surprised if he let him kind of call his own shots a little bit. Especially the way that their quarterback position's been. Why not? Let it slide. All right, guys, but I do want to throw out, I think, my funniest possible landing spot for him. Because we were talking about the Tennessee Titans, worst team in the NFL. He'd go nowhere with them. Las Vegas Raiders, I would say he does kind of feel like a Las Vegas guy. Like, I could see him living there, actually.
He gives similar, like, Brendan Urie vibes from Panic at the Disco almost, where they're both just so full of themselves. It could be a good fit.
Sure. Yeah. Brendan Urie.
Yeah, totally.
Another important guy in my life, I guess.
Of course. But yeah, no, he'd love living out in the desert, being very close to just like all the ayahuasca retreats for sure.
Ayahuasca.
But I would want to see him outside of his natural habitat, but somewhere where he'd also be very close to home. Because if he goes to the city of Indianapolis and plays for the Colts, not only does he get to do in-person Tuesdays on the Pat McAfee Show.
Wow.
But he also has to live in the Indianapolis area, which I know he lived in Green Bay for a long time. There's something about Indiana and Indianapolis that just feels so much more Midwest and so much more like down to earth.
Emphasis on mid.
Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can ask Derek, the resident Colts fan.
West.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana's an interesting state, and he would just feel so out of place there.
There's a reason that our Indiana Colts fan, Derek, moved out of Indiana.
Yeah, and I know we're saying this as people living in Wisconsin, and he lived in Green Bay for the longest time. But, I mean, he was playing for the Packers. It was a more iconic franchise. I think the Colts are a respectable franchise, other than Jim Irsay. But also, the fact that he'd be dealing with Jim Irsay, like, what if they just did a podcast together? Like, media side and just, like,
You're not
coverage,
totally wrong.
sound clips. I think, I just want, like, a full, what was it? What was his Netflix show?
Enigma.
The Enigma, yeah.
I want Enigma Season 2 Indianapolis. I would love that.
We're down in Broad Ripple, guys.
Oh my gosh. I could see it. I could see him just going to like whatever that steakhouse is that all the reporters go to for the draft. He'd be so out of place.
All right, well, the only place he could go to be a winner is Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. More spins, more wins, more fun, and home to the smoke-free slots, the highest payouts in the area. It's fantastic. Only winners go there. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Molly, thank you so much for hopping on. You obviously have carte blanche to join the show whenever. Now, Evan Cohen did think that you might actually be on the show more during your maternity leave than Matt Hamilton will be on during the same time.
Okay. I'll take the challenge.
Molly,
okay.
we want you to be better and rested and ready to get back, and I don't want to lose this.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big about the leany, meeny, money, mo, and flower.
Exciting unlimited poll question, getting closer. I'm Alex Gravatt. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly alongside Matt Hamilton, who's pointing at a picture on the screen that nobody can see other than us.
Yeah, I was pointing it to you.
You're making pizza?
No, that was my cursed sandwich for the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's right. I heard you talk about this cursed sandwich. Ryan, you ate it, right?
Yeah, I had it last night.
How was it?
It was delicious.
Why was it cursed?
It's just so... It was a weird combination of things to bring together... And flavors and seasonings, and cursed doesn't mean it was bad.
Can you explain what the sandwich was?
So the sandwich, the final name I came up with was the Philly cheese brisket po' boy.
Okay.
Right? So I wanted to do like KC meets Philly meets New Orleans. Right? So like the brisket is very popular for barbecue in KC. Obviously, Philly cheesesteaks. So I just took elements from both of those, and then the po' boy, I had like some Cajun seasoned shrimp. And
so shrimp ended up on this?
Yeah, it was like a total surf and turf sandwich. My wife made like a provolone cheese sauce, not just provolone, like cheese sauce to go on it as well to give it the real Philly flair. I did the caramelized onions, peppers, on a hoagie roll, as you can see.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see he's got a ladle for the cheese, which looks really stringy. It looks awesome. How did it taste?
I thought honestly, I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be very good, so I I was ready to take the shrimp off and just eat a cheesesteak with brisket, which, that's
fine.
It was surprisingly good, even with the shrimp and everything. It was. I was pretty impressed by everybody because there was a couple pescatarians in our group that just wanted, so they just got shrimp po' boys.
Right, that's good.
All the people that were eating regular beef as well, they were all in. The shrimp, the surf and turf sandwich was a hit.
But Prime, you said it was good?
I was a big fan. So I actually had it the day after. Matt saved an extra sandwich for me. Brought one in for me and Jim Rutledge. We didn't get to share it, unfortunately.
That would have been cute.
It would have been adorable.
But you would have been sick today.
I would have been sick, so thank you, Jim, for not having any.
Yeah.
But I tried it when I got home. It was my dinner last night. I actually took Matt Hamilton's advice, where I essentially, I don't know, how would you say I did it, Matt? I don't really know the best term.
You had a cast iron pan, you pressed it.
Yeah, I pressed it.
Kind of like Cubano style.
Now, I pressed it as much as I could. Now, I had the pan up a little too hot because then the bread was getting a little too charred, so I had to throw it in the microwave to make sure the meat was warm. But after I did all those steps, it was honestly delicious. I mean, the flavor of like the burnt end barbecue with that little bit of shrimp and the cheese.
These were burnt ends?
These are burnt ends.
So I went above and beyond.
Do you do this every year?
No. I was coming up with something for this particular Super Bowl so I could incorporate the 3 cities involved. Right?
It was
so
perfect.
I would love to do something like this every year and just do something from each city and make it.
So what are you doing next year? Because it's in Santa Clara.
Oh, man. Well, whatever it is,
Santa
it's
Clara
going
diet.
on a sourdough roll.
Sourdough roll.
Sourdough
Okay.
something, because San Francisco is known for their sourdough.
Okay. So then if you're picking, I don't know, let's say it's the Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills.
Obviously, I'm deboning a bunch of chicken wings, chopping that up, and it's going onto a sourdough roll with a brat.
Ooh.
Chicken wing brat on a sourdough roll. That would be how I quickly, without overthinking it, come up with my my 3 cities for you in that regard.
The chicken seems pretty interesting. I mean, like you could do some sort of like blue cheese, but you make it green with a little food coloring, and that way it's really easy. Because I'm not the chef you are, but that way you're still dipping your wings in cheese.
Yeah.
And then
there's room to workshop. I had thought about the Philly one for a minute.
That's really good. All right,
The Philly cheese brisket po' boy.
Maybe that's why Jim Rutledge was out sick today. I'm Alex Trebek. That's Matt Hamilton. He'll be back tomorrow, we hope. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
See ya.